Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the awards ceremony of the European Defence Challenge. Universidad Politécnica de Madrid is the proud organizer of this second edition. Thank all of you for being here today with us. For this occasion, we have prepared a nice event. Thanks to the kind collaboration of highly relevant speakers from the most important organizations in Europe, dealing with defense, security, and technology. We will have the pleasure today of listening to different members of the European Parliament, from the European Commission, the European Defense Agency, and also from the leading industry companies in Europe. I want to express my biggest thanks to all of them. Today, we also will know the best essays presented by our brilliant students and who are the winners of the challenge, together with the representatives of their teaching institutions, prior to the final remarks coming from our project coordinator. European Defence Challenge is part of the Assets Plus project, Alliance for Strategic Skills addressing emerging technologies in defense. The aim of Assets is to build sustainable human resources supply chains for the European defense industry by exploring which are the emerging technology trends, especially focusing in some specific fields like robotics, artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, cybersecurity, of course, and C4ISTAR. Also, by translating these trends into specific and concrete training programs for our technicians, for our students. And finally, by developing a European defense qualification system that it could be very useful for recognizing these skills. Assets has a very interesting methodology, in fact, a blended approach by using an iterative procedure that combines data-driven analysis together with the knowledge of human and knowledge of experts. Also, it is important to say that Assets project is formed by a partnership of more than 30 especially relevant institutions, teaching institutions, and industry that have a lot to say in of the defense of Europe. Well, what is the European Defense Challenge? The European Defense Challenge is a contest open to all European students, and the main goal is to engage young, talented students to follow career in these technologies related with defense and security. It's also important, and it's also one of the goals of the challenge, to build bridges between students and industry, between students and institutions. We have been working together with a highly professional jury of experts that have had the difficult task of selecting the best essay, the best proposal to answer to this year's topic. A question that is formulated as follows: remote everything? To what extent can unmanned assets interact with humans in the field for defense operations? In the challenge, we are looking for a fresh view, for new ideas, new technologies for the years to come, and also new uses of existing technologies. Always aiming to preserve the safety of the people and to guarantee the rights and the foundational principles of the European Union. For these reasons, not only technical, but also political, social, economical, ethical aspects have to be taken into account. Also, we have strongly encouraged students to team up in pairs, finding a partner, especially coming from a different university or even a different country, because we strongly believe that cooperation and collaboration is the best way to build whatever new thing. Well, it has been a long way since we launched the challenge last October. It's important to say that we have not left the students alone. We have accompanied them during all this process by providing them with a set of formational webinars to promote meetings with relevant experts in different fields of technology, and also to give them feedback and continuously accompanying them during this process. We are very happy with the results. We have received dozens of excellent proposals dealing with very advanced topics of technology. In fact, we have asked our data analysis team inside Assets Plus to analyze the students' proposal to extract which are the most important concepts addressed by students. Not only the most important concepts, but also their interrelationships, their interconnections, strictly by analyzing their proposals. Well, the students have addressed close to 120 different technologies in very, very interesting operation situations. And it's interesting that they draw a future with a lot of technology, and especially plenty of artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, robots even, also with the threat of cybersecurity, but for sure with a lot of technology that will help us to make life easier. Of course, it is our responsibility to use this technology to build a safer Europe, a better Europe. And well, highly connected with this message is our first speech. Lucas Mandel is member of the European Parliament, and he's vice president of the subcommittee on security and defense. I would like to invite you to listen the message that he has kindly sent to us. Please.
Hello guys, my name is Lucas Mandl. I'm an Austrian member of the European Parliament, and I'm more than happy that I could contribute to the initiation of the European Defence Student Challenge, and I want to congratulate each and everybody who has participated into this challenge, because you're working on the right issues, the important issues, the future-oriented issues, which mean a lot to this generation of Europeans and to future generations of Europeans. Because what I think is that we need a Europe with more strength to the outside, and more in today's European Union understand more and more that this is really the endeavor of our generation and of our time, strength to the outside as well as more freedom to the inside. And we find ourselves now in times when we have to defend the freedom we already have. And this is something, this is what the European way of life is about. And in the best case, we can contribute a good example to the rest of the world via defending our freedom in each and every different area. I know that the papers you have contributed with to this challenge are very specific, and I thank you also for specifically working on very detailed issues, in particular in terms of defense and in terms of our security. This is what we need. This is what's relevant for the Europeans, and the overall picture, all this together, means that we have to achieve more autonomy, so-called strategic autonomy for the European Union, and in the best case achieve a European Union one day which will more or less cover all European territory and will make it happen that each and every European will be a European Union citizen, and each European should be ready to receive the freedoms, the rights, the opportunities that apply to European Union citizens, and this will be a good example to the rest of the world, and hopefully we can contribute also to security and freedom and human dignity in the rest of the world. This is a long path ahead. You are contributing to it academically and with all your creativity. I thank you for that. Happy to be in the position to be part of it. Hope to see you also in person soon. All the best from the European Parliament in Brussels.
Thank you, Mr. Galler, for this encouraging message. It is my pleasure now to introduce also Mr. Michael Galler, who is also member of the European Parliament, and also he is member of the Subcommittee on Security and Defense. Mr. Galler has been so kind as to joining us today. Thank you, Mr. Galler, for being here. The floor is yours.
Can you hear me? Yes?
Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, to follow up on what my colleague Lukas Mandl just said, indeed, I would like to welcome your deliberations, your studies, your exercises, and it is by no means something academic in a sense that it is theoretical and out of relevance for our today policy making. To the contrary, the Russian war against Ukraine that has shocked the entire world, at least the democratic part of the world, has shown that peace in our times is not guaranteed. When you have a ruthless, in the real sense of the word, a fascist dictator who thinks he can behave like in the 19th century and conquer territories which he deems to be in his not only influence zone, but should be swallowed up to belong to his country, against the will of the Ukrainians, who are, as we speak, defending their way of life, our way of life, and who are punished for the fact that they want to live like us. And I think, therefore, it is very necessary and very concrete that we need to support them with all what we have got, in order that at the end this dictator disappears again from the territory that he unlawfully captured. And there can also be, with this Russia, there can be no return to a status quo ante. There can be no return to business as usual, as there could be no such return after Germany had started the war against Poland, because there was more to follow had he not been stopped. And we are in a similar situation. So that is the dramaturgy, that is the dramatic situation that we face ourselves. And still we have to think ahead. And we have to think, yes, now we have a wonderful transatlantic partnership. The Americans are with us. Fortunately, I wouldn't like to think what we would be if we had Mr. Trump in the presidency in Washington. So we have the current president who is with us on this question, and we are with them. But we have all reasons to think and to plan ahead. And some of the buzzwords have already been named by my colleague Lukas Mandl. Strategic autonomy is one of them. I'm aware that is specifically also propagated in France and accompanied with some hesitance in Germany. But I'm one of those who are very much in favor to use this term and also to define it. What does it mean, strategic autonomy? On the one hand, it means that we must be in a position to produce, to have an industrial base that is one of our own, where we are able to produce the weapons, to develop the capabilities that we need for, in the long term, on the one hand, guarantee our industrial base, but also to be able to produce what we indeed have defined with our capability development plans, with the findings of the Defense Agency, where the priorities should be set, with the extra money that we are using to encourage cooperation through the European Defense Fund, and so that we are indeed in the position to not to be at the grace of even our best of our allies. And the other aspect of strategic autonomy in Europe means, in my mind, that we have the structures and the institutions that allow us to do what we think is needed to do, even if there is no recourse possible to NATO resources. There are agreements between EU and NATO, yes, but NATO decides unanimously. And if any partner, if the EU thinks we would need to do something, be it in the Western Balkans, be it in North Africa or in the Sahel, and we would need recourse to NATO, and any partner thinks there is no such thing to do, NATO is unanimously deciding, and then there wouldn't be such a recourse. And I think for that we must plan. We must be able still to act if we see our security challenged in future. I mean, I could well imagine. Currently, we have a problem with Mr. Erdogan blocking the accession of Finland and Sweden to NATO. So what shall we do if we see a problem, for instance, in the Western Balkans, in Bosnia, as we speak? Mr. Dodik in the Republika Srpska is already talking again of a dissolution of Bosnia-Herzegovina. And if then we say as EU we need to do something because the Americans are not in a position to do something or are not willing, then we must be able. But if then NATO, Mr. Erdogan, has other ideas for Bosnia, he might also block it. So we see it's very concrete. And the same might apply to Libya or other conflict areas where we as Europeans must be able to act autonomously if need be, both regard with our institutions, what we have set up, and the other aspect also with the weapons that we are able to produce. Insofar, I think everything that you are discussing here, everything that you are providing as expertise that you develop here is very worthwhile, is very topical and needed. And I'm very grateful that there are young people who are looking around and researching and in an academic circle to get things further, to think ahead and to contribute thereby to the discussions that are being held in the political level, in academia, in other circles, in industry. We need to work together. The world is not getting better, to the contrary. We need to see in the long term to set up, if we want to play in the Champions League of trade and in security terms, then we need to be better, to become better, to deliver better, also to be a better partner for the United States. I'm the last one to compliment them out of Europe. We cannot afford it as we speak. And I'm very grateful that we have the Americans who are pouring billions and billions in weapons into Ukraine, because if they weren't there, the task for us would be even harder, apart from the lack of political will that I currently see in the German government to deliver really hard weapons, the Marder tanks, for one concrete example that has been asked for by industry. So there are really concrete challenges where we need to be in a position to define our interest and to act accordingly. Therefore, you are contributing. Thank you very much for all that. And I'm happy to further follow the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Galler. Of course, we have very big challenges in the horizon, and of course that feeling safe and is one of the most important values and one of the most important needs of the European citizens. So it is nice to know that we are working in Europe together towards this objective, not only from the academia, from the industry, but also from the institutions. we have a solid institution like the European Parliament. We also, it's important to mention the European Commission. And perhaps it is now time for to listen a message coming from the European Commission. Christina Willen is policy officer at the DG Defense, Industry and Space, and she has also sent us some words. So please, let's listen to her message.
Good afternoon. I am very sorry that I'm not able to participate in the award ceremony. First of all, I would like to thank SS Platz and Matteo Burgos at UPM for arranging this ceremony and for inviting me. I also want to thank all participants for contributing with new and fresh ideas to the defense sector. And of course, to congratulate the finalists on their outstanding work. This challenge started last autumn, and the world has changed since then. We already knew back then that there was a threat to Europe. But Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine changed the game completely. The war in Ukraine shows that we cannot take peace for granted, and that Europe must have the capabilities to defend itself and its interests. This includes not only military capabilities, but also the industrial and technological resources to create and sustain those capabilities. That is why defense and defense industrial issues are on the top of the political agenda. And here, I must say that despite having worked in the defense sector for 30 years, I wish that was not the case. I wish that we lived in more peaceful times. But we cannot choose the times we live in. The European Union and its member states has increased the level of ambition for defense and security the last few years, especially after Russia's attack on Ukraine. The Commission has, for example, put forward several proposals to help member states to invest together in European projects and to strengthen its defense industrial base. The last communication was published as recently as last week. We will see major investments in the defense sector in the near future. This will require a highly skilled workforce in the defense sectors. That is why development of skills are becoming increasingly important for the companies, for the member states, and for the Commission. And that is also why challenges such as this are important. Not only to generate technical ideas and solutions for the defense, but also to increase the attractiveness of the defense sector, to show that defense is fun. That is also why I'm glad to hear that so many women participated in this challenge. The defense sector is still male-dominated, but it is changing. We need more women in the sector. We need more men too. And we need more non-binary people as well. We need everyone that wants to make Europe a safer place to live in. So I hope that you will join us. Have a nice weekend, and may the best team win.
Thanks, Mrs. Willen. After hearing your words, I would like to mention that we have an important number of women participating in the challenge. It's close to 40% of the students participating were women. I think it is good news. It is true that we are not in our best moment in Europe, but I think this is one of the reasons it is so important to invest in knowledge development, and in teaching, because I think that knowledge is the first point, the basis for understanding, and understanding is the basis for peace. Okay, now it is time to hear to another very important European institution. Our next speaker, Mr. Daniel Mosquera, is Project Officer for Air System Technologies in the European Defence Agency. and he has accepted our invitation to be with us today. Thank you, Mr. Mosquera, for accepting the invitation. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mateo. I would like to start thanking you for the invitation, the Universidad Politécnica of Madrid, and also the Consortium for Assets. For EDA, myself, I am very happy to be here, not only because the opportunity given to me to share some thoughts with you about technology, but also to congratulate all the participants to this contest, because you are the future. So as said before from my predecessors, we need you. It is very important, and I am very happy to see that with such an amount of proposals sent to the contest, I am happy to see that we have future, and this is very important. And when we think in future, it is almost impossible not to think in skills, in knowledge, but also in technology. So I will not talk about the skills, because this is the key objective for ASSES and for the consortium, but I will stick a little bit on technologies. The importance of innovation for defense is unquestionable. This is important. We have already understood that we need to invest in defense, because not only because we need it right now, because we have to keep the future with us. So we need to think in what we want to be in the future. And some of the examples has already mentioned during the interventions. And when we think about innovation, we need to think on creating military value in terms or in the source of creating future defense capabilities. And this is very important, because we mentioned this before. We are talking about a strategic autonomy. We are talking about EU defense priorities, and we are talking about how Europe would like to be in the coming 10 and 15 years. So for instance, from the aerial system domain, I can mention two of these priorities, which is aerial superiority, aerial mobility. And it is important that we understand that the effort we do today in innovation will pay back in the future. This is important to think. So the importance of innovation is unquestionable. The need to create military value is a must. And we need to understand also the advantage of make collaborative innovation. And this has been proven. And again, if I want to find the synergies with what the current state on the defense and security in Europe, since the last 93 days, if I remember well, we have been proven that working together, investing together, is really our stronger point in Europe. So the same applies when it goes to innovation. We need to continue doing innovation together. We need to identify the topics. I know that some topics are not open to collaborative innovation, because it is based at national level, understood. But there are some topics which are attractive for the MODs, where the industry is ready to provide technology, where the academia is ready to provide knowledge, and we need to not to forget our SMEs and our startups, which are coming with very good innovative ideas and bringing some value to the chain. So in order to link and to work on this collaboration, I would like to share with you three key elements on where EDA, the agency, is contributing to the innovation. The first thing is what we call the EDA Defense Innovation Prize. This is a prize that we have been launched for the last 6 years. This edition is open, is on the space domain, concretely on the space debris domain. Links will be shared with you, but I open an invitation to all of you. So if you want to continue this endeavor of the innovation, you may go to the website and see if you would like to apply. The second tool or topic I would like to bring to the table is what we call the CAPTEX, the Capability Technology Groups, that is, in a nutshell, is the engine for the research, technology, and innovation at the EDA. These groups are open for industry, academia, research and technology organization, startups, and in these groups we identify the research needs in order to create this military value. So again, invitation to all of you open. If you want to follow us in these groups, feel free to send emails and we will happy to process your membership. And the last, and I will be very quick on this, is the recently announced Hub for EU Defense Innovation, HEDI, depending on who is pronouncing the acronym. This has been already launched, has been included in the strategic compass, and EDA will be leading this adventure, but not in isolation, in close cooperation, because innovation, as I said before, is open to everybody, is a must to be collaborative, so we are happy to work with all the EU defense community, including Commission, including NATO, and all the innovation hubs at national level. Synergies, this is very important. So thank you very much again. Best wishes to all the participants. Congratulations to the finalists and the winners. Looking forward to see the third edition. And thank you very much, Mateo, again. Floor back to you.
Thank you to you, Daniel. Thank you also for such interesting information about these initiatives. I can do nothing but agree with the idea that innovation is a must, of course, in Europe and in 21st century. And innovation is something that is made not only by academia, not only by institutions, but also a very important role here is the industry. So it is also my pleasure to have here today one representative of the leading industries in defense in Europe. Let me introduce Mr. Mauricio Beta, who is the head of the Learning and People Development at Leonardo. Of course, his department has a lot to do with the topic and the aims of this initiative. Mr. Beta, thank you very much for being here today. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Professor Burgos, and good afternoon, everybody. First of all, let me thank Asset Plus for inviting me to make a brief to this great event today. And also on behalf of the defense companies that are part of Asset Plus, I would like to congratulate you, all the participants, to this second edition of the European Defense Challenge for the great job that you have done. So, why is it so important to stay here today? I do believe that the answer to this question is the answer to what our future will be like. You see, today's event marks the end of a journey of a particular challenge that you accepted to lead to with remarkable results. But here, in front of us, stands a challenge much, much bigger. That is the future of the European defense. What's happening close to Europe's frontiers confirms at what extent it's mandatory to reinforce, to strengthen the European defense industry capabilities. And this is not anymore a nice to have, it's a must we cannot postpone. So, how to tackle these challenges? Two words are keys: technologies and competencies. Technologies. As all of us know very well, we are facing a huge and fast development in technologies. This, of course, didn't happen overnight. It's a quite big, long process. But this technological transformation is here to stay, and it calls for a strategic and systemic response. Digital technologies are reshaping the nature of the defense sector. Let's think at quantum computing, 5G, 6G, adversarial machine learning, to mention a few of them. And this transformation affects not only technologies and products, but also organization and processes. And this brings me to competencies, because with the new emerging technologies, new competencies are needed. We at Asset Plus are deeply aware of this, and we want to nurture competencies by supporting the education system as well as the defense industry, not only to be prepared to respond to this change, to be reactive. Better, we want to be predictive. And we thank the European Commission for supporting the defense ecosystem in developing a systemic approach to skills by leveraging all the relevant stakeholders, the VET, vocational education and training providers, universities, industries, local authorities, to address the issue of ensuring a consistent talent pipeline. That's very important. And that's the reason, the valuable and effective objective of the European Defense Challenge, to attract young people like you, young talent like you, to let you discover the huge possibilities of a job career in the defense industry. We are looking for people that have the willingness, the enthusiasm to exploit these new technologies, and not only the mature ones, but mainly the emerging ones. In particular, STEAM, that is not the power introduced and exploited over a century ago, but is the competency set the European defense industries are looking for and are continuously feeding. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but also arts to improve problem-solving skills and increase creativity and innovation. Another central purpose of our industry is to implement a company culture in which every people has the opportunity to show all the potential, in which no one is left behind, in which everyone is called for pushing the boundaries. Our purpose is to build an attractive and challenging environment that is at the same time green, modern, digital, aiming at a sustainable work-life integration, innovative, a place that allows and fosters creativity and self-entrepreneurship, emotional, where diversity, equity, and inclusion are real core values, and professional, focused on the development of the competencies through a lifelong learning. In few words, the European defense companies, we are looking for young talent that want to share this vision, being part of and leading the technological future of our countries. Well, I am at the end of my speech. I wish a good luck to all the participants, and I give back the word to Professor Burgos. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Beta, for your encouraging words, clearly looking at the future. And I think the future are our students today. So I think it is time to the time for students. Our students have performed very well in this challenge. They have proved high skills, high knowledge, and so it is time to reward them. We have prepared a set of awards, and for preparing this, we did ask the students about what they would like to have as awards. Many of them answered that they were especially interested in contacting industries, leading industries in Europe. So we have prepared a set of interviews with human resources management at very important industries in Europe. In particular, we are going to provide HR interviews with Leonardo Company, with Hensel, and also with Rolls-Royce. They will provide these meetings for all the finalists. And also, I am happy to announce that the winners will be invited to visit the Airbus facilities in Brussels. Of course, also we are going to publish all the essays by the finalist teams in our social media, in particular in our website. And also we have a lot of technology-related gifts that will be provided by our partners. Thanks for, again, Airbus, Saab, and Hensel for providing this variety of gifts to the winners, and also to to the, I have to mention today that this year we have a special mention for young students, for students up to 20 years old. So thank you all of our partners for providing these awards. And now I think we are reaching the most important part of the event, because it's time to know which are the names of the finalist teams of this second edition of the European Defense Challenge. So let's see, who are they?
Hi.
Sorry. Well, if you can see my slide, here we have the names of the finalist teams for the European Defense Challenge in this second edition. First of all, I would like to greet Susanna Hein and Emilian Maguire from Science Polit for his essay about human-robot teaming research initiative for a combat aerial network hurricane. Then we also have as a finalist team the team formed by Anael Salomon and Sinan Beka. They have teamed up between two universities, from Science Polil and University of Edinburgh, and they presented an essay, a proposal entitled European Defensive Autonomous Submarine Systems, EURODAS. And finally, we have a third finalist that is authored by Andreas Routers and Nathan Pakopet. They come from the Royal Military Academy of Belgium, and their proposal is entitled Autonomy in Air Defense Systems. So I would like to congratulate all of them, and please receive this clap from my side, because you did clearly excellent jobs. So I think it is time to meet with these brilliant students and to know their proposals. So let's start with the first one. Sorry.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Emilian. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So the project was a teamwork, but unfortunately, my German teammate Susanna is not available today, so I will be presenting alone. So the Hurricane project outlines the opportunities and challenges that robotics and AI technologies offer for future air combat, by indicating how we can gain an advantage through human-machine teams. And its objective is to guide the development of future technology and force design, and to help to define a suitable force employment concept. So the basic assumption of the project was that AI equals or exceeds human performance in a wide range of tasks, yet autonomous systems remain brittle. Therefore, we think that human versus machine is a false choice, and man-machine teaming, or MTT, is thus more effective than human action alone or AI alone. So maintaining and increasing European air dominance will require not a total and rigid automation, but a flexible automation in a collaborative aerial combat system that combine respective strengths and weaknesses of man and machine. So we propose a human-centered design with UAVs, so unmanned aerial vehicles, as a force multiplier that can provide fire support, intelligence, target acquisition, jamming or deception decoy capabilities to manned platform. And the design of future forces must find the optimal combination of manned and unmanned platforms, and balance the use of human and machine cognition for various tasks. So the main challenge of MTT is not so much the availability of sensors, information, or remote effectors, as it is the ability to exploit them wisely and in a timely manner for the benefit of the mission. So we have then identified 5 main development pillars, which are a future manned aircraft fighter, so UAVs, a tactical cloud, AI, and finally a force employment concept. And last but not least, this kind of man-machine teaming brings up new risks. And a human pilot responsible for several air systems is at risk of cognitive overload in combat. So it implies the need to dynamically modify the level of active control that human operators must exercise over remote automated system. In addition, one of the main risks is an increased exposure to cyber threat, and there is also a risk of dilution of human responsibilities and unintended escalation. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Emilian. I have to do nothing but congratulate for the excellent job. I think I'm not the only one that wants to congratulate you this afternoon. Greetings, Mr. Mackie from the University of Science Polil. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you very much, Matteo Burgos, for that introduction. Thank you very much, Emilian, for that bright presentation. And I'm sorry Susanna is not able to join us, but I would like to say that I'm very pleased to congratulate you on this wonderful accomplishment. I think you did a very great job, and you already know that. I even have my tie on for you, so you can imagine how proud I am. I really think that you produced a very rich and stimulating analysis, looking at both technical, political, and ethical challenges. So what is very striking is that you really reconnect policy priorities and accountability imperatives on that specific matter. So, and I think it's very essential for the future of European defense. What is very striking is that you really pay attention to the very details of your analysis, like the excellent SWOT analysis you produced, where you put the human aspect of things at the heart of the foresight analysis, which is very essential. So thank you very much for that, and also congratulations on that great teamwork, because really you demonstrated that the coordination efforts are very important to produce a stimulating final paper. So well done on you, and good luck for the final part of the competition, of course.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mackie. Thank you, Emilian. It's time now to the second finalist team. So let me greet the students. Okay, perfect. Good afternoon, Sinan, Anael. We have Sinan Becca from the University of Edinburgh and Anael Salomon, again from the University of Science Polil. Congratulations for reaching this important point of the challenge, and we are impatient to know about your proposal. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. So in our case, our project focuses on submarine unmanned assets and is called EURDAS for European Defensive Autonomous Submarine Systems. We tried here to understand what was the position of each actor involved, that is to say, obviously the military, but also the naval industry, politician and public opinion. And to do so, we interviewed 2 French Navy officers. And thanks to them, we understood that the main issue was above all linked to the trust that actors had in those remote sets. And according to our research, these devices are seen by the military as complementary instruments. And so the challenge was actually to know in which case scenario and in which specific framework these devices should be used. And this is why we propose here a 3-steps project in order to provide a better understanding of the military and industrial needs, and also political concerns.
The three steps are as follows. So the first one is the preliminary discussion, a bottom-up process that ought to bring all the stakeholders of the issue around the table through consultation carried by the Council of the European Union, the Commission, and the European Defence Agency. Second step, a top-down process during which A committee composed of experts, MEPs, and chaired by the HRVP will be tasked with drafting a paper which will be the legal and ethical framework for future development of these systems. And lastly, the translation of this framework into a European certification for the industry, upon which fundings from the European Defence Fund will be conditional to ensure the highest level of quality of innovation in Europe. So overall, our project therefore aimed to provide a bond of trust between the civil society, the industry, and the military by acknowledging points of views and moving forwards on their reconciliation. We deem such a method to be paramount in the context of growing strategic autonomy, as it was mentioned previously by our distinguished speakers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm glad also to announce that you have here today also representatives from your institutions that wanted to congratulate in person. Good afternoon, Mr. Martil. I have nothing to congratulate, not only for the job, but also for this cooperation between two different universities and two different countries. And for sure, this is also of great value. Good afternoon again, Mr. Mackie, Mr. Martil, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to be here. It's a difficult time for Europe, but this is precisely the kind of ideas that we need. So let me offer my sincere most congratulations to all of the students who took part, and of course, in particular, to Anela and Sinon for this wonderful presentation. Very detailed, super interesting and innovative, and with a wonderful focus there on questions of process and law and legitimacy. And so this is obviously a wonderful time to be having this conversation, what with the terrible events in Ukraine at the moment, but also our efforts through the EU and the strategic compass to overcome these and to deal with these. And let me just say how apt the focus on assets is here, because Sinan, you are an asset to the University of Edinburgh, and congratulations on your success. So thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Mr. Mackie, do you want to say something to your students again?
Yes, with pleasure. Once again, hello, everyone. Yes, what Ben said, you know, the importance of that academic investment in that type of initiative. And what is very interesting is that they produced a very detailed, concrete, precise timeline for that roadmap. So what is very interesting is that although they start with, you know, social sciences and academic tools, they really produce that great achievement of reconnecting policy imperatives and academic knowledge. So, and I think that's the heart of the overall project. So, and maybe they are paving the way for future collaborations with our colleagues from Edinburgh. So we don't know. So thank you once again for that great work. And, you know, for the ability to demonstrate the essential role of social sciences in the creation of a European Committee of Defense Experts. And I think it will be key for the future. So thank you once again. And congratulations.
Okay, thank you you all. Well, and it is time to meet to the last finalist team. In this occasion, this team comes from Brussels, from the Royal Military Academy. Perhaps we have today with us Andreas Wouters and Natar Prakopets that presented the very professional, in my opinion, essay about autonomy in air defense system, ADS. Thank you for being here. Good afternoon. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Nathan and I are two cadets from the Royal Military Academy, as already mentioned, and we will discuss the need for the increased autonomy in air defense systems. And why is this topic relevant? Well, the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February has brought war to the European continent for the first time in many years. During this conflict, Russia launched an attack on Ukraine with the hypersonic Kinzhal missile on March 18. This proved to the world that the hypersonic threat is real.
And the operational use of this new weapon, and by a nuclear weapon state nonetheless, has sent a psychological shockwave throughout the European continent and has highlighted the shortcomings of current air defense systems. Speed and maneuverability establish the supremacy of hypersonic missiles in airborne ranged weapons, and current air defense systems are not enough to secure our airspace. The next slide, please.
Sure.
The dominant consideration here is the need for a fast response. As offensive weapons increase in speed, our defensive systems must follow. And once again, we find that speed is the essence of war. The first step in a fast and early response is detection. We have thus investigated the necessary sensory upgrades to bring our air defense systems to the hypersonic standard. And one of the fundamental improvements we suggest is a network of low Earth orbit satellites capable of providing global coverage and increasing our sensory capability to match hypersonic speed. But this is a double-edged sword, as a massive influx of data becomes near impossible to effectively process. Autonomous subsystems with deep learning capacities are needed for this purpose, and several processes in the air defense cycle can be effectively delegated to an AI. However, this raises concerns outside the technological realm.
Technology alone is not enough, and thinking about a successful implementation of an autonomous air defense system in a military environment raises additional challenges. Due to the fact that the success of an air defense system depends on the cooperation between interconnected assets in different domains such as land, air, sea, space, and last but not least, cyber. More concrete, the challenges are multidisciplinary. In our research, we touched implications on topics such as ethics, international law, and military sociology and psychology. An interplay between engineering sciences and social sciences is needed to guarantee an effective implementation of the proposed technologies. A unified and cooperating Europe is crucial to overcome the proposed multidimensional challenges. And as we say in Belgium, l'union fait la force. Unity makes strength. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Again, I'm happy to say that your institution wanted to be here. So I would like to introduce, to greet Mr. Bart Cheese in order to congratulate you. Good afternoon, Mr. Cheese. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Professor Burgos. First I want to congratulate our two students, Andreas and Nathan. I think you really did a great job, and you made me particularly happy because you demonstrated that a collaboration, let's say, between the two faculties that we have at Royal Military Academy, that it really works. So indeed, Andreas, he's coming from the faculty from the social and the military science. And Nathan, he's coming from our polytechnical faculty, which is a more, an engineering faculty. And teaming up really works and really gives, I think, the great opportunity to do great work. So I can imagine that this technical part of the paper that you prepared was taken care of by Nathan, and that the ethical, legal, and social economical dimension was taken care of by Andreas. So I think you really demonstrated that a multidisciplinary approach works. And I think that at the Military Academy, we are really proud of what you did. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think now this is the most important moment of the event today, because we are now going to know who is the winner of this second edition of the European Defense Challenge of this year. And the winner is Andreas Waters and Nathan Prakopev for its work about autonomy in air defense systems. Congratulations, you did an excellent work. I think they deserve a clap from from ourselves. Congratulations very much. Yes. So we also Gualtiero I introduce Professor Fantoni, is our project coordination. Of course, do you want to congratulate the students?
Big congratulations from our side. You did an excellent job. And also 2 different people with different background demonstrate that it's possible to work together if you have a clear goal to achieve. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much, Gualtiero. Congratulations, and we will be in contact for giving the awards and to further the collaboration. Thank you very much. But this is not the last point, because this year, especially, we have included a special category and a special mention to award the youngest students, our students up to 20 years old, that I think it is very important to say that they have gone through exactly the same process, the same jury, and with the same exactly criteria than all of their colleagues. And it is I am happy to announce the name of the winners and their proposal. The winners of the award for the young students are Carlos Daniel Farias Reimar and Carlos Thurn. They come from the University of Cádiz and from North Academy. And the proposal is, can I trust you? Can an artificial intelligence for secure and authenticated communication? So congratulations very much. This is a very good achievement. I forecast you a very nice career in technology, and we will be happy to know a bit more about your proposal when you want.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. We hope that you can hear us well. My name is Carlos Daniel Farias Reimer. I study electrical and electronics engineering at the University of Cádiz in Spain. I am here today with my research partner, Carlos.
So yeah, hi everyone. My name is Carlos Thurn, and I study industrial engineering and management at the North Academy in Germany. Together we worked on our research paper titled Can I Trust You? An AI for Secure Authenticated Communication. So let's start with the first point. We focused on the aspect of cybersecurity in the context of remote everything, and as the title suggests, a new authentication process. The idea is to create a method of secure communication between 2 or more individual parties in order to allow interaction of human and machine in the application of the defense field. To achieve this, a combination of encryption and identity authentication will be implemented.
It is widely known that AI has become increasingly important in all aspects of modern technology in the past decade. In this context, we are proposing an AI which can recognize an authorized user based on their behavior. This process, as well as the encryption of the actual data, will ensure the security of the communication. The idea is to train an AI with the behavior of the authorized user so that with this particular input data can later be recognized for security purposes. The analysis can cover many different aspects of human behavior. The more behavior gets recorded and analyzed, the more secure the authentication can be. Along with existing authentication measures, this will make communication in the context of remote everything more secure.
We suggest implementing AI-based protection in the EU's defense system and hope that our idea can make an impact to save lives and make communication with unmanned assets more secure. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us.
Okay, thank you very much. You did an excellent job. I'm happy to say also that we have today, I hope, a representative from one of your teaching institutions. Good afternoon, Arturo Morgado from the University of Cádiz. The floor is yours.
Hello, Mateos. I'm a pleasure for being here. I want to thank the organization for giving us an opportunity for both our student and the University of Cádiz of Spain to participate in the tournament. I think it is an outstanding program for the professional development and the improvement of their skill engineering for all the participants. I'm very happy with the result of Daniels and Carlos. I must recognize that they have worked very hard for this project, which shows their creativity of passion for this sector of the industry. I would also like to congratulate the other finalist teams for their submission. I hope that in the coming years there will be more edition for the tournament and that our university will participate again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Arturo. My sincere congratulations. You did an excellent job. And I think it is time to join again with our project coordination, Professor Gualtiero Fantoni, that will make some final remarks of the event. Good afternoon again, Gualtiero. Floor is yours.
Thank you. As a coordinator, I would like to close the event with a positive message. Actually, all of us are in good condition. We are healthy. We have food and a roof. We have friends all around the world we can discuss with, as we saw with our students. It is important to say that the future is bright. And however, even if the future is scaring many people, because nowadays it's very difficult to understand, to predict the future, because it is evolving at a very fast pace. We can say that new scenarios are emerging, and we have to take care of new possibilities. New scenarios, often unexpected, can have been seen during the last years. The COVID-19 pandemic, the Ukrainian conflict, no one was expecting. And moreover, the new stagflation, where the raw material costs are blasting the meat of the software eating the market. One way to continue evolving and growing is to think creatively and also being critical and dare, also with crazy hypotheses. The defense sector actually does not need yes men. For that reason, the more powerful weapon, as Matteo said before, we have the weapon of mass construction is education. So I invite myself, first of all, and all the colleagues to teach more and more how to think than what to think. And all the students to learn how, but continue searching for their own why, and doing that autonomously. So with these last words, I would like to invite you to join us also next year for the 3rd European Defense Challenge promoted by Asset Plus. We will see the topic soon in June. So stay tuned.
Thank you, Professor Fantoni. I think it has been a very nice event. We have known the very good jobs presented by students. Thank you, all of you, for being here today. Especially, I wanted to thank all the participants in the event that have collaborated to make this a big success. Especially congratulations to the winners and to the finalist teams. And well, that's all from my side. I hope that the future will be better. I wish you, all of you, happiness, peace, security, and lots of technology. Thank you very much.